My name is James Jackson. Uh, I'm 77 years old. I got into trouble when I was young, when I was 20. Very serious. Something I'll never forget. I was part of a serious crime, murder robbery. I was found guilty, although I didn't do the actual killing. I was part of the felony murder.
My name is William Matthews. Been living in the neighborhood all my life, born and raised in the neighborhood.
My name is Jimmy Allen. I grew up in Mantua, Young Great Society as a gang leader.
My name is Frank Leon Owens. Leon is my middle name. That's what everybody call me by, Leon.
My name is King McReynolds. I'm a part of the Mantua Five Re-Entry program. My brother is one of the individuals that we're trying to get released.
Name Norman Harris. Born and raised up in Mantua.
I'm Rodney Wyatt. I grew up down the Mantua section. My address was 3958, so I was essentially from the gang 39th Street.
I'm Lauren Katz-Smith, and I'm a law professor at Drexel, and I teach in the community lawyering clinic.
Well, my name's Michael Carlin. I was raised in the Mantua, and my family, my in-laws, school friends from childhood, and we just became how would I say it, like a family, and we all kind of look out for each other along the way.
So several years ago, the governor started a commutation pardons program. So they came to the law clinic to talk about guys who've been in prison. Many of them were unjustly sentenced, okay? They went to court at 18 and 19, and they're now in their 60s and 70s.
Your friends and your family having been taken at the ages of 20, 25, not to be returned.
While I attended that meeting, I saw a possibility for a lot of my friends who were in prison unfairly and over-sentenced to get a pardon or a pass.
There's no right. The individual doesn't have a right to commutation. But the Constitution says that the governor can grant mercy. That is part of a fundamental principle in our state. The Commonwealth allows the governor to grant a deserving person mercy.
So I went in the neighborhood, many of the different gangs that we used to fight, we became friends.
Believe it or not, the guys that's sitting around from Mantua at the meetings, there was a point in time when we used to gang war and fight amongst each other. Jimmy Allen was our enemy.
So some of them were in prison, and I thought about getting some of them out, my gang members and the other gang members. And we started the Mantua Five. So while we started the Mantua Five, we had a group of people that we did background checks on them. So we picked the ones that we could help.
Mr. Slaughter, Mr. Anderson, Mr. McReynolds, Mr. Harris, and Mr. Jackson.
We all signed a pact.
Yeah.
I think I told you about this. We signed a pact of Bridgeport. And we sat down, we all went to visit. And we signed the pact. We said, we're gonna work on getting these five guys out.
That's right. That's right.
And that's where we started at. We started from nothing.
Mm-hmm. From nothing.
From nothing.
Just an idea.
I am them and they are me. We know each other. We can relate to one another. We support one another.
And now it's a different fight. We're fighting for justice. We're fighting to get these men and women, back into society so they can make a difference and an impact on the next generation.
I got convicted in '69, April '69. So after conviction, the jury had to go out and determine life or the death penalty. And that really hit me. Because I'm saying, death penalty, I didn't kill nobody. I was part of it. It took me a while to accept that, that I was just as guilty. It took me a while, a lot of changes, a lot of time. I'm not talking about 5 years, 10 years. I think I've had about 20 years in before I started throwing them on me. that I was just as guilty and grow up and accept it. And I went in front of the psychiatrist and all that, and he asked me a question, the same question: when did you start to change? I used to gamble, but I stopped gambling. I used to play cards. I stopped playing cards. So I used to smoke cigarettes. I stopped smoking cigarettes. I guess I grew up in the penitentiary. You know what I mean? I started looking at my past life and what I wanted. Or did I want a future? You know what I mean? Did I want a future outside the jail? How would I get it? Have to get out. How am I going to get out? You got to change. You got to change your thinking. You know what I mean? And I did that.
I don't think we're born to do wrong. You know what I mean? We just make bad choices.
All of this helped me in the long run, you know what I mean, towards my making commutation. Or my finally making commutation because I went up 5 times. You know what I mean? But that's not much because I did 4.5 years. My application never left the jail. You know what I mean? And I found out that the unit manager said he didn't think I showed enough remorse. So when I got turned down, this is when I told Jimmy Allen, William Matthews, and Fumas, the community leaders, that I knew from the community, the Mantua community, and I said, man, I need some help.
The Mantua Five is 5 guys who really deserve a chance.
There's a group called the Grateford Think Tank that was started at Grateford, and they were the men who were starting to think about, like, what does it mean to have an Eighth Amendment right to dignity? Does it defy constitutional norms to have life without the possibility of parole? And a right to redemption and this movement of second chances was born inside the prison, and then it came into the streets. So Rachel and the 3 students who were in our clinic at the time joined the think tank and started going to the meetings. If you were coming into the prison as an educational group, you couldn't also be representing clients. So Rachel was barred and those students were barred from then taking on representations. So that is how I picked up these cases. So I went into the prison in March of 2020 to meet with Mr. Slaughter, Mr. Anderson, Mr. McReynolds, Mr. Harris, and Mr. Jackson. The five.
We talked to Rachel Lopez, professor, Lauren Cox, another professor, and they told my problem, and they asked me would they, interview me and see would they be willing to help me during the COVID. Now, you know what I mean? They came up to visit me, and that was the beginning. That was the beginning of something wonderful. And we got together and we put together a supplement to my application. And the supplement was like that, and it was beautiful.
We connected with a number of organizations, but in particular YSRP, who had developed their own sentencing mitigation plan for all of the youth resentencing projects. So that is how the supplement was designed. It was basically modeled after their mitigation resentencing drafts.
Just the supplement was different. I added supplement. It was like I said, it was like autobiography. And and part of the supplement was all the letters of signed letters, people willing to support me if I get out.
So by the time COVID was at least, I don't know if I would say over, but some of the rules were relaxing and we were able to begin going into the facility and meeting with our clients again, Mr. Jackson was was coming to review.
When I finally made it all the way up to the board of pardons, you know what I mean? When I walked into the room, and 5 members of the board of pardons, they was on, they weren't there. Zoom, they was on Zoom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And I'm sitting there and speaking. I had to speak through the microphone and stuff. And they started asking me questions, you know what I mean? And to the day, I don't remember all the questions. What I do remember is how I answered the question. I looked everyone in the eyes and I spoke from my heart. A couple times Superior, he stopped and he asked me, he said, if you was in that same situation again, you know what I mean, what would you do? You know what I mean? I told him, I said, I don't have to worry about that because I wouldn't put myself in that situation again. You know what I mean? I picked my friends, you know what I mean? And I wouldn't let nobody influence me. That gang mentality is dead. It's gone.
He was our first client to go before the board, and he was our first successful applicant.
I'll be on the road for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? Life on parole out here is better than life inside.
If it's 50 of them, then we can save 2.
I'm happy.
You know,
I'm happy.
I mean, it wasn't all in vain.
Don't lose hope. Don't lose. And that's what that did. It gave, when he came home, that gave me hope. You know what I mean? That, yeah, okay, he got a chance. You know what I mean?
It's beautiful, of course. I can stay in. I can say, when I leave here, I'm going to my apartment. I'm not going out no more this evening. I watch Super Bowl by myself. Laid back, watch it, had my slacks and all that, you know what I mean? And I was content, satisfied.
Child slaughter, to me, Shug, they called him, it's a man that made a mistake, a wrong choice. Paid for it with his life, you know what I mean? Behind the fact that he done the time that he done, it needs to be reconciliation.
With that, we'll move on to the next case. Charles W. Slaughter. Madam Secretary, can you just identify, I think, James Allen?
So, my name is James Allen. I want to thank the Board of Pardons for the opportunity to speak on behalf of Charles Slaughter. I prepared a statement and I'd like to read it. First, I'm going to talk about how I met Charles and why he asked me to speak for him. We grew up in the Mantua neighborhood with the Young Grace Society mentor for many planners. He was always a good guy, just made a bad mistake. He was a trustee. He worked outside the prison. He stopped a lot of conflicts in the prison. And he's done so many things since he's been in prison to show remorse. I grew up with a lot of guys and they need to stay right where they at. But I grew up with a lot of guys that have come home and done very well. And Charles has showed over the years all the wonderful things that he can do and that he turns his life around. But he still had to stay in prison because he made a mistake.
Charles W. Slaughter, Ms. Grayson, no. Dr. Williams,
No.
Mr. Gubernick,
No.
Governor Henry,
No.
Governor Davis.
Yes.
Application denied.
Years we worked on this, y'all. For years we prayed and Rachel and Rowan and all of us, we did so much to get it. So I was angry, but the Spirit said to me, God said to me, if you're gonna accept me when things are good, you gotta accept me when things are not so good. And he also said it's not over.
You got to prepare them. You got to prepare them.
Yes.
So they can. How much remorse you got to show? You've been down for 51 years.
Like, when they took him down, it was like a body blow. Damn,
Yeah.
I know what he's going through.
Yeah.
And I know when he left that room and he had to walk back to
To
the cell
cell.
block.
Oh my God.
Wow.
God.
This hell was feeling.
But when I talked to him, I did talk to him after that, and he said, "Well, he just took it like, well, he got to put it back in."
And then put it back in. That's what we are.
If you get around 50 years, and what's left?
Yeah.
I do think that one of the things that we need to help people with is how to not go into that reactive mode.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
So like you're sitting in a situation where they're actually wanting to provoke you.
Yes.
That is their goal, is to provoke you.
Right.
And their view is when they provoke you, they're going to see the real person, right?
Yeah.
But of course, we know that's not the case. Actually, when people get into a reactive mode, their brains shut off.
Yes.
And they're not able to think rationally. And they go into more of a survival mode, right? Which is not your rational brain. It's like fight or flight.
Yes.
And so he kind of went into fight mode a little bit, right? And so I think being able to help people see what's happening and giving them tools to slow things down for themselves. Take a breath, take a moment. You know, we need to give them more of those tools so that then they can see, because I'm sure Shug knows. He knows, on some level, he knows what he needs to do.
Yeah.
But in that moment, it's so easy to forget.
It's not over yet.
It's not over.
That's just a little setback.
That's what it is.
You keep working at it.
That's right.
Everything will be all right.
That's right.
The denial is very painful. It's like, it feels wrong. It feels extremely unjust. It feels, it just feels awful. But for now, this is what we have. This is the only mechanism for release. And so, one at a time. So we have.
Mantua Five is going to accomplish, it has a mission to accomplish, and I think we're on the right path here, So it's just a matter of us getting together, making sure we're on one accord, and incorporating the community as a whole. Because what we want to do is not just get these men and women out, but to stop the other ones from going in.
This is a program to get out and stay out and help people get out and leave all your bygones, and you can't change the past.
The main reason for the Mantua Five is really to help senior citizens get out.
The Mantua Five Re-Entry program is more than a second chance. It's a promise to build a better future for our community.
Daff, Rickets, Boony, and all of them, they've been down all these years. They can get up there just like we doing right now and put it out there and say, look, you don't got to go there. I've been there. I've been there. So, I'm stopping you if I can, not to go that far. I missed out on my family. You just starting to get a family. Don't blow.
There are some kids that I know in my family and his family and our friends that we can save. Those are the ones I want to save.
Once you look at this, you cannot look away. That's what I found.
We want to plug up that pipeline, from birth to school to prison. It's going to be a sad day for the prison systems, but a great day for the families and the communities.
We are Mantua Five and Re-Entry. Give the people what they want. Well, now, don't you know you got to give the people. Give the people what they want. Right now. But I've been all over the world, and everybody feels the same. It's a unanimous decision. I said we're ready for change. Yeah. Got to give the people. No more.